as opposed to dominance, right? Jesse's 5 words that he had right at the beginning when we started the group: power, passion, purpose. Oh, can't remember the other two. Are you there, Jess? No, the power, passion, purpose, prosperity. I'm sure there was a fifth one.
Presence.
Yes, thank you, Pascal. Yeah.
Yeah, Pascal is always so present, so he remembers that one.
Sure
I hear
not.
Pascal is driving one of the older trucks today.
Nope. No, you are completely wrong.
Completely
It
wrong.
was completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the blinkers are going in. I can hear the blinkers.
Yeah, those are actually the newest one.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's probably the newest one in the fleet. Yeah, I think so.
Then the newest one is based on the oldest one.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't hear him. I don't hear the truck, right?
Haven't they made those electrical?
They're much quieter. But yeah, I guess the blinker is louder. So.
So you get to drive the flagship.
Which one?
The flagship.
The flagship, yeah.
Yeah.
So an example, a small example of where we could be wrong doesn't allow us to see ourselves powerful.
Right or wrong, I'm powerful.
That's right. Well, I know you are, Heinz. It's like when we are aware of it, right? When we have the conversations of it, we can settle for ourselves that. But if we can't settle that for ourselves, we're in chaos.
Oh, yeah. That's what doubt does.
That's right. That's right. And then we doubt that we're powerful, which then we aren't, which then has us giving power away, like granting people our power rather than granting ourselves the power we deserve.
Funny, this is what I'm working with my son right now. I'm telling him he's giving away his power because everything is out there. Well, you should look inward.
Right.
Even the blame. Just say, well.
Heinz, you know what? I was surprised by, but it worked so well with Kaylis when she was experiencing being blamed. And I said to her, well, as human beings, we have a big tendency to do that because we always feel that we have to be right. So just linking the blaming and the having to be right, it was so interesting. It dropped her experience of being caught in that being blamed. And she could also let go of the person that was blaming her.
I told my son, if people blame him, did you do it? Well, if it's a yes, own it. If it's a no, who cares?
Mm. Mm.
It's their point of view, and you can't change that. It's their obligation to change that. It's not yours to change other people.
Mm.
Did you drive off the road?
It sounds like it, eh? The new truck doesn't like mean being on Zoom, I guess.
Mm. You're
I
gonna
don't
have to
know.
you're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's because the
I'm
new
gonna.
truck ain't beyond enlightenment. It's below enlightenment. So it don't understand what we're talking about. So cut it
Yeah.
off.
I'll beat him up a little bit and see what
You
happens.
need to teach those trucks what to expect of life.
Yeah.
You were born to haul trash, and that's what you'll die doing. Then they know what they're in for.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd be like, Pascal, what's all the dents around it? What? Truck didn't behave. Truck didn't behave.
I can't remember if it was on the new thing Ebony made, the guy who were there. By naming everything, you're giving it an energy. And then it's
Mhm.
way easier to talk to it, to address it, whatever it is. If it's your butter knife, yeah, you can name it, hey, cutie, whatever. It's just like talking to water. You can talk to everything. Everything
Right.
has a frequency.
Yeah, that's to me the power of intention.
Mm. And we said,
Because our tendency, right, especially displeasurable things, right, um, like negatively charged, we tend to avoid. So that means we're not naming things that are uncomfortable, which means we are avoiding them rather than facing them. And only when we face them can we let it go.
yep.
That's
only
the
way
importance of seeing. It's like the power I have is to see it, name it, be aware of it, see it for what it is, so that I can work to let it go.
he also, I believe he said it was a way easier way to command energy when you name it, because then you're giving it an energy of its own by giving it a name.
That's right. Otherwise, you just sense the energy, right? And
Yeah.
we just react to that sense, which is a feeling of that energy, until we name it or source it.
Yeah, we put it in the forefront of our consciousness.
And that becomes clarity. Now it's not instantaneous. It's not, because it's like every time we do it, it's different, a different flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that clarity for me is also putting it in perspective.
Yep.
And being peaceful in that perspective.
And knowing that's only one perspective. And not being attached to that perspective.
I
Yes.
found that the ego is pretty clever, even more clever than I gave it credit for. Because the more I switch to neutral, the ego have figured out I just need to switch into neutral. Then he doesn't really see me coming.
But by
Sneaky.
you just give him power.
Yeah. But he figured out it takes a little more time to work in neutral, but he actually found a way to work there. So I've become more aware again. I thought I just need to be neutral, then I don't need to. The ego has a charge. No, the ego just tune down, tune down.
But what about if you say the ego is dumb? Instead,
The
then like
ego is what?
the ego is clever. And instead saying like the ego is dumb.
Yeah, the ego is clever.
But that's the meaning for you, right? You give him kind of the power.
Yeah, but I want my ego to be my amigo. I want him to work for me, not against me.
Right. Yeah. No, for
Yeah.
sure.
So true.
Yeah,
We can't
Sometimes
work with ego.
sometimes we just need to let the ego have its tantrum and then listen to whatever clever thing it thought it was saying and then do it the way you actually want to do it.
that it's a mistranslation is what we tend to get ourselves into.
Mm.
Right.
We think it we think it means this, so we react to that way, and really it's just trying to tell us something deeper, different, and that's why it keeps showing up.
And I found out that ego doesn't claim to know everything. It's just a suggestion. It just suggests a lot of things, and then we think that
Yep.
it's the answer. Morning, Sindrel.
Good morning, Central.
Good morning, Cinderella.
Morning, Central.
Good morning, Central.
Welcome, welcome.
Hans, I had such a giggle when you said that you want your ego to be your amigo.
Good morning, beautiful souls. I didn't realize I was on mute. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Ooh, ego, amigo.
And you have RJ like speaking strongly about
Pesco's fallen off again. Oh,
It's the truck. It's the truck.
yeah. The
Point to
gremlin and
something
the
else.
truck.
It's nothing to do with Pascal. He's blameless.
Oh, shame.
So
group.
exploring being powerful.
Hmm.
Attuning to our inner self, our inner source, aligned, clarity, neutral. It's like, what is the meaning? What is our perspective of our power? And not controlling or dominating power, but our genius power, our creative power, our human power.
And our true self power.
Mm. There, the true self power. And we spoke about is that we identify, like, become aware of the meaning we hold for the words. Like, power. Do I believe I'm powerful? Yes or no? The automatic answer, like the deep one that's in the true self, versus the ego that wants to say, yes, I am. Or we avoid it with, no, I'm not. Just look at my life. There's no way I can say I'm powerful. The answer matters. The answer is either our freedom or our jail.
That brought me back to understanding. I don't know if it's an understanding or a viewing. Anyway, the thing about whether life happens to us or for us, or for me, what I feel is more true is that it actually happens through us.
Mm.
And if it's going through me, I can, if I remind myself that, then I can take my hands off this almost, I hesitate saying this, and it might not be the right analogy, but I can take my hands off the steering wheel or my foot off the brake.
Yeah. Just as you announce that, right? What's going on is the truth of how you face it.
Yeah.
Like you in the awareness, your hesitation is like, oh, I still do it. I still have that sense of control. It's like, yeah, of course you will.
Yeah.
We are just improving our awareness of it so that we can be a better driver.
Yeah.
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 So I'm getting fragmented thoughts.
Perfect.
The ego. You said you had the question, and I don't know if I'm recalling it right, that we are powerful or we're not powerful. What was your question?
Yeah. Are we orienting as powerful or powerless? That wasn't the
Okay.
question, but good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So the answer, you either answer yes or no.
Mhm.
And for me to say no is to automatically imprison myself in a prism that I give all the power to it,
Mm.
and to say, yes, I am powerful.
Mhm.
I still am like, but I know I'm powerful, but I'm still learning, like getting in a new car, the gadgets and the gadgets and how they work so that I can flow.
Mm.
Yep.
So that's where I am. I know I am powerful, but how does this shit work?
Yes. Yes. Right.
If you ever get a manual, I would love to buy it.
I think we're writing it here. The edits continue.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, we are.
And why do you need to know how this shit works? You said it. It's shit.
Yeah, it's really wonderful how it works. I want to, like if you learn how to shift gears, you're like you can mess some stuff up. But as long as you don't give up, and you eventually get the flow of it, because it's not about the gears, it's about where you want to go.
Mm.
And you figure this thing out and get over it and get over yourself messing up to figure out how to coordinate the brakes and the gears. So, but you got to do it. I mean, you just got to do it. And then you find out something that works for you. But at the same time, there's a balance, because you don't want to be so persistent and determined and shifting them gears, like making them work. You've got to learn how to work with the elements, so that they will yield you, a smooth journey, a smoother journey. And I think I shared, I'm going through this course And I've actually have been having headaches over the past 2 weeks because it's unraveling some stuff. Like an old closet, it just needs to be cleaned out. I just want to deal with today's beauty. I don't want to deal with having to excavate stuff that I've been carrying around. Think that's funny, huh, Allison?
Yeah, because I recognize that.
It's like we have a saying in Danish. Either you are steering the ship or the ship is steering you.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if there's one thing I've learned in terms of my awareness, not in terms necessarily of my actions yet, that if you don't do your housework every day, it just piles up, and then it is a lot of shit to take care of.
Yeah. Yep.
I never really got why people dig in their past. If it's been a shitty past, what do you expect to find there except shit?
Yeah, but there's
I don't go to the toilet and then turn around and start digging in it.
it's a
I
very
just
graphic description.
flush away with it.
Gone.
Release.
Yeah.
Don't think about it anymore.
Nope, exactly. As soon as it's left my body, it's out of my mind also. Oh, that was good. That was all. Done. Wash your hands and get on with your life.
Yeah, I agree with you, Hans. For me, I definitely have experienced a lot of that sense of almost claustrophobic in my profession, with this thing about always going to the past. But there are times where it is part of our lives. So for me, the trick is to be able to go there, see it, see where it is in the present, because that's the thing is that when we haven't untangled it, it actually remains in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how we are built. It seems to be our biology, our body. There's this one guy that he's, for me, he's like a
what am I supposed to
doyen.
do? Sit down and cry about it? Would it change it? No, it's my past.
But
Yeah,
some stuff keeps coming up. Like if you
yeah,
don't pay a bill, it accumulates,
yeah, exactly.
and it's a structure. So you want to restructure, reframe that.
That's detaching from it. It's like they say, it's forgiven, not forgotten. Forgiven is the emotional, forgotten is the memory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all of that is relevant. Absolutely. You're you you're I'd say you're 10 steps ahead of what most people can use immediately. So there's a period where you go back into the past and you make sense of it. It's like we were saying, you name it.
Yeah.
You name, yeah.
And then but then it's important that you move forward and that you have the means to do that. And for me, the moving forward is what we build here in this group.
Yeah.
That's that's the manual. One manual, right?
Yep.
Not the only one.
No, but it's a manual for living in the 3D world where everything is linear.
Mm.
Whilst being in your full power.
Yeah. And that's one of the tricks to also is releasing the emotions to the past.
Mm. Mm. Absolutely.
So I heard a statement, you guys may be familiar with this already, that fear comes from either reliving the past or projecting from the future. So the way to function is to, be present in the now and go to your superconscious or, emotional detachment from an event that already happened or that you anticipate happening. And it's being aware when you're in the present. And we call ourselves being in control or discerning or making decisions. But if we're doing it out of fear or anxiousness, then there's some emotional attachment that is on the bandwagon, and it tries to make you operate out of fear because it's as long as we are recognizing it, it's a lot of work, emotional work, mental work, awareness work, that the more we do it, we can apply it like simultaneously to recognize when we're functioning out of fear, when we're thinking out of fear, when we're thinking out of limitation or scarcity. There's some emotional attachment either from the past or the future, but we can only do the present right now. So it helps me. I can't always get there immediately. No, and then it takes time too to understand, am I operating out of fear? And then the good book says, we're not supposed to operate out of fear. So just really leave that alone and work from your superconscious, from your sage power. But the fear stuff comes from the structures of thoughts and patterns and programs that that have already been developed and registered and trademarked, and we can like get rid of those trademarks can be expired, they can be released, but we have to be conscious of it, like you said, Allison, labeling it. So we label it, release it, Because if we're not and operate in love, love is the present. Love is the present. If we're not operating out of love, then we're operating out of fear.
Sandra, when you said it takes time to understand, what came to me with that was also, when we say understand, we always think of the mental understanding. And what I'm becoming more and more aware of is in that understanding is awareness of experience. So it's not just the mental construct. It's the physical. It's an integration of the physical experience. And when we can recognize the physical experience, it's a kind of a shortcut, I think, because it's so quick, right?
Yeah, you could miss it.
Yeah, we do. Most of the time we do miss it. And then afterwards we say, I had that feeling. Why didn't I follow it?
It was because the ego suggested something else. It was a good realization I came to today, that it's just a suggestion each time the ego is talking.
Yeah, but that ego suggestion is really like, yes, it's strong because it pulls on everything it knows already about you in order to keep you contained.
And it's not easy to deal with because the ego has a microphone, the heart don't. It's way louder than ego. The ego is so loud.
That's why we have to.
I think it was Henry Ford who said that whether you say you can or you can't, you're right. So we always have to remind ourselves: do we choose fear over love, or love over fear? You cannot be both places at the same time. And when we choose love, ego has to step to the side. Sorry, I interrupted you, Sandra.
I couldn't hear you. Say that again, please.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were...
No, perfectly fine.
What I was thinking was, and I often feel this in the group. What I appreciate so much is our awareness of ego, because then we really get to create something so powerful and so beautiful, because each of our genius gets reflected, and then something new comes from that. And that's the power of collaboration and building space together.
Confluence.
Sorry, Hans, what did you say?
Confluence.
Yes, you're quite right.
Yeah, and when these thoughts have been deflecting, then it was based on our belief, right? Like we're not agreeing with someone. So now we have a different belief than the other person. And we're like, but most of the time we're not questioning our belief. Oh, I'm right. You know, either we won't say anything, and like inside of us will be like, yeah, no. Instead than just kind of like questioning and be like, where did I get that shit? And if it's from experience, then you might have something to say. But if it's just from another person that it's picked that up somewhere again, then it may not be true.
The more we are doing this work, working with ourselves, the more we are actually also working with the ego, not working against it, because it gets to get more insight.
Mm. Mm.
So the more we are working with ourselves, the more the ego would actually work for us, not against us.
That's right, you tame it.
Yeah.
It all takes practice, and we're practicing here.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
And I feel so empowered by being here. So thank you, guys.
Same for me, Chi.
It's the power of love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep practicing.
Yeah. Keep sharing the love. Sharing our knowledge that comes from our heart, not our ego often. Then we are on the right track. Even if there is a right or wrong track, I don't know, but like living and whatever. When we are comparing life to something else.
I'll share a physical experience that I had, or that I have had, and that I had very recently. The first two that I had were as adults. I don't remember experiencing them as a child. And the experience with the first two was as though there was a wind going right through my body. It's the only way I can describe it.
Mm.
And the first one was when my dad died. And the second one was when I got the definitive result or conclusion that I had to have a transplant.
Mm.
And then on Monday, I had an experience where things had aligned perfectly, imperfectly for me, and at the same time I was with somebody that I love with all my heart, and this person is in a lot of pain at the moment. And so as I was driving home from her, I was just in that experience of this unbelievable gratitude and some confusion actually about how the hell did I manage to pull this off? And then, and then I thought, well, I didn't pull it off. This is what I received. And I had an intention to receive it. I had said that I'm open to receiving this. But it's not even that I didn't want to let go. Perhaps it was a choice that I didn't want to let go of holding my friend, holding that love that I had for her, and to see her in so much pain. So it was these two opposites, almost, you could say. And it was with that I started to remember about the wind. And that's when that phrasing came to me, that life happens through us. And if we can trust and be, for me, being is trusting. And trusting gives you the bridge to being.
Yeah, and that would that like it happened by us, for us, and through us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, through our perceptions.
Yeah. Yeah. It does happen through our perceptions. You're quite right, Chi, but it's also beyond our perception that it happens.
Right, right.
I think it's that I get most from beyond my perception.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people always tell me I'm great at giving advice or something. And then they ask me, what did you actually say? And I can't remember. It's just like I'm just picking the words out of whatever. And it's not for me to remember, it's for me to share what I'm getting. A lot of, one wrote to me that it sounds like I'm talking from my I am. Well, I don't know what they call it. I think that's what people call channeling or something, but I just call it talking, and I really like talking a lot. It's like I say, the problem is to shut me up. Yeah, I think that's what my dad also said. And he said, "Well, you're so honest. I can only be with you an hour, max two at a time." Yeah, of course he's a car salesman, so honesty don't too much honesty. You just need to sell the car. You don't need to force it down my throat.
Mm.
But I like being of service.
Oh, so do I.
It's expanding.
Yeah. If my words can help somebody have a better day, a better life, or whatever. I was told that my mom told me that a girl I met when I was, what, 15, 16, she was 2, 3 years younger than me. Then she asked me about smoking weed. And then I told her, if you don't have any issues in life that it helps you with, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Mm.
I found out later in life that I actually self-medicated with it. But at a young age, I knew that already.
Mm.
I knew it wasn't a good thing to do, but what was the the what do you call this? Doesn't matter.
And
Would be what?
no, I would just add, like, it really depends on your intention,
Yep.
that desired intention behind it.
Mm.
Because for
Yep.
me,
Why
like,
you're doing-
you know, I smoked a lot of pot when I was young, and then I stopped for so long, and then I start a little bit again, and my intention is completely different, right? Like now
Yep.
it's like it's really become more and more present, and I use it as a permission slip. You know, I'm not
Yep.
gonna lie, and it's working really well actually. I'm like, oh my God, like, is that possible that I can be even more present? And more present and more present, right? Like it's just like, whoa, there's levels to presence, right? And then it's just like, and like I really, because I always knew that pot make me, if I'm focusing on something, it's, like I get really focused because I used to like play a lot of video games.
Mm.
And we're playing like say Medal of Honor, so a lot of snipers and stuff like with other people online or like just at my house, and I knew like when like I'm smoking weed, like I get really focused. So now I use it as really like being aware of like my focus, right? And how I can be distracted, like, and really kind of not following it, just kind of being aware of it. It's fascinating actually. So, so everybody should smoke weed then. Yeah.
No, it's the awareness of it. If you don't need it, why should you do it?
I prescribe it.
Yeah, but you could take one of those gurus. I've never seen a man looking so high. And then he said he never smoked in his entire life.
Yeah.
These THC receptors were 100% active always by just being present.
Right.
He took it the other way around.
Yeah, like that's why I said like I use it as a permission slip because I know it's possible without it.
Yep.
But for me, it's like, okay, now I can do it with, and then after a while I can be like, because I don't smoke it every day, obviously, and so I space it out, and I'm like, okay, can I have the same experience or same feeling without it? And it's a practice, right?
You're training your ego.
Good.
When your
It
ego
Mhm.
needs
knows
to.
exactly what you're looking for, then it can recreate it in your mind.
Yes. Mhm.
So, like you say, it's a permission slip for the ego to go to being present.
Yeah.
And then it's like using the right tools for the right task,
Exactly.
not
Yeah,
using a screwdriver as a hammer. Sorry.
no, I thank you. I look at some people like they can be high and like really be functioning. And like when you say you smoke it to like intensify so your focus ability like that, it's pretty amazing to me that people can do that, that they actually function at an optimum level when when they've smoked or taken whatever. um I've experimented and I'm like, I don't like this feeling. I don't know what's going on when I'm high. It's like, I'm just waiting for it to be over with.
Then you're being present with waiting.
Yeah, it's just like, I just don't like it. But
It,
then there's so I mean it's different for different people based on your makeup. So then I've had some gummies, and
oh,
I I was instructed you can only take a little slither. I was like, they said because it's not much, it don't take much for you. And really, I mean, when you talk about a slither, I'm talking about like a stick of gum, like just shave a very thin piece off the edge so you don't even know that it changed size. The part that came off, that's what I could take. That's all. That's all.
Edibles are also way stronger.
Yeah, okay. But I'm like,
well, there's strength out there, right? Like that's what I kind of like that it's legalized, just because now there's regulation. I didn't think I'd like that before, but because now like you know exactly what you're getting,
how
Yeah,
right?
much, right?
So there's
yeah.
strength and stuff. But like the gummies, even though it says that, I mean, it's it's very random to be honest. Like I take some stuff and be like, my God, like I can't function, right? Like I'm the same. And then like the the issue for me with like the gummies is like it has to be ingested, and it lasts for so much longer,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? Than smoking. Smoking, it's kind of like, okay, I'll take a couple puff and then like, oh, I'm good, and then like I might have to smoke again, but usually not. Like it's because I don't smoke all day, right?
Yeah, it's
So
pretty.
yeah.
Smoke is also in your lungs and out again, and it works after 7 seconds. A gummy bear, you swallow it and it stays inside your body for what, 12 to 24 hours? So for that long time, it actually has an effect.
Mm. Yeah, I I I like being high. It could be like just a thing to say, but it's real for me. I like being high off of life. I
Hmm.
just like I can be like to walk outside and see one of my flowers bloomed. I'm just like That's my whole day right there. Woo, yeah.
That's getting high on life itself because you're watching life grow. It's the same I enjoy with my pigeons or doves or whatever you call them on my porch. I love seeing them lay eggs and then wait for the eggs to hatch, wait for the chicks to grow up to walk around on my porch or altan or what you call it, and then see the parents throw them out of the home, and that's the circle of life. And then they lay some new eggs, and then I get to start all over. It's like I have 3 seasons in a year.
Mm.
But that's the best high you can get, being high on life itself, because just watching it grow, watching a flower bloom for each day as you pass it by, as it opens its petals more and more. One of those that takes 3 to 4 days to actually get into a full bloom. I enjoy walking by that flower each day and watching it just open its buds more and more and more.
Mm.
It's like after I stopped smoking, and then I smoke sometimes just to try it, but that was after I did a lot of this work. So when I did a lot of this work, I realized, well, I could use the other stuff, like you said, Pascal, use the weed to work inside instead of just relaxing, being relaxed outward, then going inside and being present with whatever I find inside.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'd say like a lot of people like they use drug to escape this reality, right? Like they have issues and then like they're like, okay, oh
That's what
finally
I
I
used
can
before.
like I can relax, right?
Mm.
But like it's an illusion. It's this
Yep.
illusion. So yeah, to me like it's really like that desire and intention, it's fundamental,
Mm.
you know, behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a Cookie Monster here. I have an Ice Monster. My son just knocked on the door. I'm just gonna take one more ice. But it's good to see him eating.
Yes.
It's healthy to eat. And the funny thing about being present, as soon as you reach the ultimate presence, you think about it and you lose
You think about what?
it. Then you think about it. Hey, how did I get so present? And then it's lost. It disappears with that thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like the whole world is in a constant flow. Everything is there for the taking, and you don't need to take anything.
Yeah, but as
Everything
soon
is,
as you,
yeah,
I'm agreeing, as soon as you take it, you pick that flower, it starts
yeah,
decaying.
yeah, exactly. Because when you see everything is there for the taking, and you just leave everything in its place. Whoa. And then you think about, what did I just do? And poof, everything's gone. How did I get here? How did I get where was I? Nah! But
Yeah,
it's the ego. Ego
yeah, it's
wants to
like
be there too.
when we disrupt the environment, right? Like
Yeah.
you disrupt the environment and then like things start to die and then like animal disappear and whatever, right?
Mm.
It's the same with the present. As soon as you disturb it, it'll change. And then you think about it, then the past gets involved in the present or the future.
That's like when we're like put our power. Like, are we powerful? Just the question, right? To allow the question. It opens the space. And it's not to orient that, oh, I have to be powerful and think powerful about every situation. It's like, it's not like I'm a robot for it, but it's just the awareness of when my habits give power to something else. It's just, that's what I do. And those are the things that are hard to see. That's where working with others helps reveal it. Like the conversations we have today are spaces to say, oh, like, where do I limit my power? And if power is just choice, intention, perspective, it's like as a creator of our lives, like the master of our own lives, it's like that's where the power is. Is it curiosity and wonder? It's like, oh, that's power, which is also an intention, which is also a choice, a perspective of how we see what is, which is our current reality.
So power is like currency.
Yeah.
Very well put.
I think so.
It's what we use it for. Yeah, we can use electricity to lighten up a kindergarten, or we could use it for electric chair.
Is het eentje?
Oh, his son is asking for ice cream.
He's getting addicted to ice cream.
Says who? You or him, Hans?
I think it's the number of ice within 10 minutes, says it.
I mean, that is what parents do, is say no.
No, I say yes. I say yes, yes, yes. And then I tell him when he gets a bad stomach, it has nothing to do with me. You asked, I just gave you permission. It's not my stomach.
Not my stomach. Yes.
So you're letting him be in touch with his own power.
Yeah.
To be aware.
Learning to discern between the ego and what he ultimately wants.
The taste buds, the sensation of the ice cream on his tongue.
Yep.
Well, he wants to learn how to swim. I'll take him out in a boat and drop him off and sail back.
God.
So back to this power thing. I know I don't want to give my power away, but I do want to use my power for good. I want to be aware of my power because there are those that understand this thing about power and they somehow know how to cunningly cipher your power so that you don't even really know how valuable you are. You don't know that you have this allure, this power. And so I really just want to continue to discover and rediscover and not limit myself as to what the unveiling of what my powers are and how to use them and how to exercise boundaries with them. Because sometimes people can see things in you that you don't see in yourself. And that's why I think it's good to be in a community, and why it's good for people to have partners or spouses when the intention of the relationship is wholesome, so that you can reflect and deflect off and on each other as to the different perspectives, so that somebody can say, hey, you're a really good orator, or hey, are you a teacher? You seem to be a teacher, or hey, you're really good with your hands. Sometimes stuff that we do so naturally in our beingness, we don't see it as a gift or a talent or a power. But it's worthy to take note of other people's perceptions, not to buy their view or just adapt it, but take it as the clues as to, is that my power? Is that my gift to cultivate in myself so that that's what I have to offer and give to the world? Because some people will just take your power away or put you in a circumstance that if you're not being aware, you're in a circumstance that serves others, but it really limits you. It limits your gifting. It's like being in a job for 20 years and then you go to a dinner party and they have karaoke and you get up there and you sing and people are like, wow, wow, who'd have thought it? Because the environment at work just didn't yield to you bellowing out the most symphonic, engaging, beautiful love song ever. So we got to be aware when we're in environments that limit us, and we do it ourselves. This conversation is making me, like I've got my next set of boards ready for me to paint on. I haven't painted in like 3 weeks. And I'm like, I'm not doing it because I know when I do it, I'm gonna be in it for like 2 or 3 days. And I don't have 2 or 3 days. So am I really going after something that is not my talent? Or limiting my talent? So I'm ebbing and flowing. What did you say?
Well, I would just say it's the right way to look at it. If you're not in it 100%, why would you be in it? And your 100% takes 2 to 3 days, and you don't have that right now. So you wait.
I was thinking one way of getting in touch with our power, with our inner power, is by nurturing our inner child, or have a relationship with our own kids, with them. When you give unconditional love, to whether a pet or a child or your inner child, or you're getting your power back little by little. Yeah.
You're giving the painting a little power, a little more power, and then all of a sudden the painting is done and it's fully powerful to give everything back to you and whomever wants it.
Mhm.
Yeah, painting is stepping into your power because you are. What I was thinking, it's like meditating. Yeah, so
Mhm. It is.
It's like writing a book for someone else or writing it for yourself.
Mhm.
Painting, making music, writing, it's all art. Art is expression of the soul.
Thank you so much, guys, for everything. This was a great start again to my day. Have a great day.
Yeah,
Thank
you have a-
you.
Leave for now.
thank
you have a
Bye.
blessed day.
Have
Bye.
a great day.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, Jess.